Come on in. Good morning and welcome to Transwest Truck Trailer RV. My name is Katie O'Neill and I am so excited. As usual, I'm pretty excitable on Mondays. Today's video day. Please, if you've got any questions, reach out to me, 303-562-8659. Again, 303-562-8659. And you can always find us on TTTRV on YouTube, or you can find me at RVs Inside Out. The reason I say that is because I love to start my RV videos from the inside out because I think that this is what matters. So first of all, we always start from the back and the inside because what's the most important thing here? The bedroom. So for instance, you can see all of this really cool wallpaper. This is part of the Veritas interior. So it has a really cool geometric look to it. Got kind of an oatmeal-y colored mattress cover. Now this mattress is sitting on top of a very cool Fraioli box spring, if you will. And one of the things that's worth mentioning is this mattress is actually cool wicking. It's cool to the touch. So if it's hot where you're camping, you're not going to be hot while you're sleeping. Right here you'll see we have the insulated Mylar backed covers for the window in the front, giving you a much cooler experience while camping, and also the availability to black out that front cabin. This is a EKKO 2025, and this is a 23B. Where that's important, oh wait, hold on, I'm pretty sure this is a 2026. Yep, so model year 2026. But again, this is the 23B. The big deal with this EKKO is that not only do you have beds that are about 4 inches longer here in the bedroom, longer than the Transit, that is, if we're doing a comparison. But more importantly, because of the fact that the front can convert into a sleeping area, and then of course you've got that inflatable insert for the cab area, you could sleep up to 4 people here. Now, keep in mind when I say that, that doesn't mean I've got, you know, a bunch of guys that are 6'2", who, by the way, would fit into these beds, but not up front. Up front, you're going to be looking for shorter people or shorter stature or maybe children. But again, if you're looking for a coach to get you out on the road with a little extra sleeping, that does come to you in the configuration that we're in today. Now underneath here, I'm going to go ahead and just lift this up. And the reason I'm going to do that is it gives me a better way to show you what this coach comes with. So first of all, this is a really nice little place you could stash your wallet, maybe your diamonds, your gold bars, your gems, whatever it is that you don't want people to see. Then you've got this great drawer space. These posi latches, when you lift them up, they open. When you go back in, they close shut. But a great way to be able to load up maybe your boxer shorts and socks and the like. And then a nice closet area with hanging space. And again, I can show that to you this way, and you would have access to this compartment and this compartment without lifting the mattress. This compartment, though, is nice and hidden. So we love that aspect of this coach. And then also on this side, go ahead and turn the lights on here. Just nice LED lights. As you can see, we've got ducted air conditioning back here as well. But over here to the right of the window, you have 2 110 outlets and a cable access point. Some people want to put a television here in the bedroom, so they have one in the front for the kids and one in the bedroom for the adults. If that's you, very popular option. Winnebago makes it simple to do. This coach does have the entertainment package, which comes with a sound bar and the TV, but if you want to have an extra one installed, it's something we've done many times. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. If you can hear that noise in the background, that's the little generator I have. One of the things that's interesting about this coach is that we are looking at a coach that is a dual battery coach. So this is a Selenite EKKO 23B with a Mercedes-Benz chassis, the all-wheel drive system, the enhanced suspension, if you will, and ground clearance, and then also a dual lithium battery. It's actually a single 640 as opposed to the single 320. So that's kind of cool. Now you'll notice here, I can go ahead and close this screen, or I can close the blackout shade. I can open this all the way up and drop it down and latch it here so that it's letting a little fresh air in. So there's just a little bit of a hole there. But one of the reasons I wanted to show this to you is because when I have that generator running, so let's say I'm staying, for instance, in the desert and it's just not dropping temperature at night and I want to keep my AC running all night, I can run that generator outside here and you cannot hear it at all inside this cabin. So that doesn't come with a unit. I mean, it could. Make me an offer. But no, so it doesn't come with a unit, but it's a Cummins generator that we carry here. It carries a gallon of gas, super quiet, nice and powerful. A great accessory for somebody who wants to have an all-electric coach without the generator on board, but that may be, you know, boondocking from time to time, you know, either at, you know, really hot temperatures in the evening or under a canopy of trees where you're not necessarily going to have that solar available to you. Now over here in the center, we have this cool hard surface cup holder having insert for the middle of the coach. One thing to keep note of, you can take this and turn this into a bed. If you had a puppy, like a dog, that you wanted to be able to sleep with you, but not necessarily in bed with you, this would be a great place to put a puppy bed. You could leave these at home. If you feel like snuggling, of course, you can bring them with you and turn this into the bed. But over here in the middle, what's nice about this is it's a big flat surface and you have your reading lights. So your blue light for nighttime reading and then daytime reading. Or I guess nighttime reading, if you don't mind staying up a little bit, you're supposed to turn on that blue light, I think. But here we have a nice carpeted cabinetry. It's just got a little bit of a felty effect to it, so it's not going to be too rattly if you're keeping things up here above your bed. And then keep in mind, we have Type-C and USB ports here, as well as 12 volts and 110 outlets throughout the coach. And that's going to be on both sides. So you're going to be able to really wire in here your 110s, any of the stuff that you want to run into this cabinet and keep this closed. So for charging, you know, your electronic devices, your iPads, things along those lines, this coach is very much set to do that. It also has a number of ports that go to the roof of the coach. This has the optional roof rack, the batwing awning, the selenite finish, the second battery, deleting the generator, and it is the Veritas interior. So really cool coach. What we've noticed is, you know, I used to have a ton of these in inventory. We are really starting to get low. This is quite the popular product. But if you're interested in something like this, you know, give me a call. I also have a selenite with the generator with only the single battery, and of course then you could add that second battery. So we've got some cool products available and in inventory right now. So we haven't looked under this side yet, so let me go ahead and just lift this up. It's really similar. It's a little bit different though, so I'll show you where that difference is. So underneath here, you have your winterization valve. So you also have a much deeper pocket. This is a great hidden pocket. If you want to keep some of those more bulky items like your hiking boots and the like, that would be a great place for them. Still plenty of room for you to keep your wallet and the like. This is the box that has the supplies that come with the coach. And also you'll see down here we have the table leg stored. Now that table leg is going to come in handy in a few minutes. I'm going to show you how that works. And then last but not least, there is an emergency exit. So this window is actually designed for you to be able to escape if you need to. Hopefully you don't have to jump out of the window in your coach, but if you do, that's where you do it from. Okay, so let's go ahead and get to the middle of this coach. So this coach has done a few things to really revolutionize RVing. First of all, when Mercedes-Benz came out with their all-wheel drive system, and then EKKO's came out with an enhanced lifted drivetrain so that you could get over relatively, I think, 8.5 and 10-inch ground clearance in the front and rear. So those things, when they came out, really changed the availability of you getting a little closer creekside. So if you're a fly fisher, maybe you want to get first chair, those things were really enhanced. The other thing that they've done is they've given you 2 propane tanks that are freestanding that can be removed and filled without moving the coach. This, of course, is a fantastic feature. Historically, you have to drive to a propane filling station to fill your propane. Now, granted, this does not have a propane cooktop, but what it does have is it has this Truma Vario heating system. So this is going to be what gives you your tankless hot water and your hydronic heat, and it is run off of propane. So how nice for you to be able to run the little generator that we have outside, remove your propane tanks. You can actually pull up, park, and leave your EKKO parked without having to move it or drive it around to go fill your propane or to use that second alternator to charge your batteries. So one of the things I try to cover in these videos are things for you to consider. So I have an RV. I bought my first Sprinter van and built it into an RV in 2014. So I've been doing this for, 10 years now, 11, I guess. I'm on my third RV. I currently have a 40-foot Super C by Newmar. I've had a Renegade Verona. But I do a lot of camping, and there's some things that are really nice to note about this setup. Between the generator, the extra lithium, and the removable propane tanks, if you get somewhere where you want to park your coach and not have to move your RV because you've got camp set up, maybe it's a little tricky, or maybe it's just nice to be set up, you really don't have to go anywhere. You can leave this coach plugged in. It has a gray water connection. As long as you've got propane and a gray water dumping station and a freshwater inlet, this could be seriously a second home anywhere in the continental United States. Now, why do I say you need a gray water connection? Well, because for me, if I had 51 gallons of gray water, it would not take me very long to fill that up with a shower. Needless to say, my little bird nest on top of my head takes some time to get clean in the morning. So another way that the EKKO revolutionized the camping industry is right here. So for those of you that are tall guys, like I said, 6'2" fits comfy in that bed. It also fits really comfortably into this bathroom area. But the craziest thing about this is not only can you pivot the potty so you can get a little bit better knee room, which of course all dudes know is important, got to be comfy in the stool room. But on top of it, there's a really cool feature right here. You've got a nice opening window, right? So you can get some fresh air in here. So nice opening window. You've got your medicine cabinet. You can keep some extra TP up here. And then the most important aspect of this is right here. So here is a huge shower. This is your shower curtain, so this keeps you nice and dry. As you can see, it's elevated by this bamboo mount we have down below. Then you've got your nice tall shower head. It is removable, so you can use it to spray yourself off. I do recommend replacing that shower head. We actually carry 3 different versions here at our store. So if you want to just buy one while you're picking up, you could add, something that gives you a little more dexterity in terms of the faucet selection. But man, oh man, how sweet is this? Your water pump is accessible right here inside of the bathroom as well. So if you forget to turn that on, it's easy to get to. But again, having this 2-for-1 space in this coach gives you so much room for a gigantic shower for something in this size point. So this coach is under 25 feet long, which is incredible. As you can see here, with these adjustable shelves, you've got plenty of room for all sorts of stuff. If you wanted to have a coffee maker in there or a toaster, you've got room for those types of things. You can make them as tall as you like. They just slide right out. And then down below, because of the fact that we don't have any propane on board, we've got a little extra kitchen room. As you can see here, tons of space to keep not only your whole house water filter, so your Coleman water filtration system, but also any supplies that you might need, pots and pans and the like. Another great feature of this kitchen area, okay, let's be quiet, phone, there we go. Another great feature of this kitchen area is going to be this really nice deep basin sink with the adjustable pour and spray feature on your faucet head, and then another window once again giving you a little place to evacuate any kind of smoke or odors that you have while you're using your electronic cooktop. Yeah, that's what I said, a little electronic cooktop. So this is one of my favorite features in my current coach. Oh shoot, must be down here. Here we go. Where did they put it? There it is, the true induction cooktop. So I have a removable cooktop as well. And I liked my true induction so much in my first coach that I actually put it in my house. This coach can take you to different altitudes, right? So you might be at 14,000 feet, you might be at sea level. You can go all over the place with this cooktop or with this coach. This cooktop will give you consistency in terms of the way it's cooking at any altitude. If you set this to 360 degrees or number 4 on the 1 to 5 scale, it's going to get to that same temperature regardless of altitude because it's using induction instead of using an open flame. It doesn't matter what your oxygen content is. It's going to cook for you at that same consistent level. The other thing that's super nice about it is of course, Winnebago recognizes that if you have this on your counter space, you're going to have not a whole lot of room to actually cook. So they give you this great insert that you can use so that you can have your cooktop out and still have prep room. So that's a great feature too. But more importantly, if you take this bad boy outside on a windy day where you might struggle against a flame, you know, impeding the temperature of your cooktop, you can take this outside, and because it's magnetic, that flame doesn't impact the temperature that you have. Now, I would store this outside and use that top drawer for silverware personally, and then you'd have extra space here, probably for all your spatulas, and then maybe your canned goods and your dried stuff that you're trying to keep. But of course, you get to choose how to set up your entire RV. Those are just things that I would do. I would also keep this underneath here instead of in the drawer. But you know, it's really up to you how you decide to keep your RV set up. Now, all of that being said, lots of counter space, as I mentioned, and that's nestled down below your Greystone induction and microwave oven. So in the 42A, or the 22A, which is the Ford Transit chassis, you do not have an oven, you just have a microwave. This one is not only a oven, or not only a microwave, it is also an oven. Did I just call it a oven? Maybe that's the new thing. Maybe instead of saying induction, or instead of saying convection and microwave oven, we could just go with oven. That would shorten everything up. We're gonna go with oven from now on. No, so this is just great if you want to bake cookies, bake biscuits, those types of things, of course, which are really easy to keep in your refrigerator. How many biscuits could you fit in this 5.3 cubic foot little friggy? A bunch. You could keep them all right there, like all the croissant rolls, and you have an oven to cook them in. And then really nice, of course, you also have an adjustable drawer here. Now, I think it's funny because you have to unscrew it, but you can change the way it's spaced out so that you've got different selections there. You've also got that cute little drawer that you usually use to put your butter or maybe your meats and cheeses in, and then a real freezer as well. So this Norcold will operate at a tilt. And that's just, of course, one of those nice things when you're out there off-roading on a coach that has great ground clearance. Maybe you're not completely level. On that note, this coach does not have leveling jacks. If you want to look at those, then give me a holler about the 22 or the 24R, which is a Winnebago Navion that's all-wheel drive that has twin beds as well. So more storage up here. Great place if you wanted to keep Starlink in here. You could keep your receiver up there. Of course, down below you have, you know, your tank levels, your battery levels. Everything is set right here for you to be able to see what you're doing inside of your coach. You've got your solar charger down here with your ZAMP solar system, and this coach also has an extra port. So if you wanted to have an extra solar array outside of your coach, so for instance, I know I've mentioned this before, but when you're camping under a canopy of trees because you're trying to avoid the heat, you're not going to have certain things that would be more convenient for you. So for instance, you're not going to have that solar input. Also with Starlink, you may not want to go with a roof mounted one. You might want to go with the one that's on a tripod that you can move around your campsite. Of course, this is just giving you that dexterity so that when you arrive, you've got a good signal for your television. You could do, you know, this is a smart TV. It doesn't require a Roku or anything. You can just download apps onto it. And then of course, if you want to work from your coach, this is another feature. Now, in most videos I've seen, they don't put this table out with the opposing seat. So I wanted to show that to you today. One of the things that's nice about this Mercedes-Benz chassis is that it actually has a power seat that you can raise. So I can actually raise the level of this seat. So in doing that, I'm raising the front and the rear. I can put it way high so I can actually be at a comfortable level to sit here. If you're a big dude, this is a really good amount of space, right? Like, you could be a big dude. You could be preggers, you know, maybe you're a pregnant lady, who knows? But if you want a lot of space around your kitchen table, this is a great way to go. But again, when we talked about the benefits of this coach, one of the things we talked about was the flexibility you had in the RV. Hold on, I'm gonna get my seat turned around. There's the release right there. This turns around the easiest with the door open just a little bit. And just locks it into place. But I wanted to show another great feature of this product. Oh, and check this out, Jody, do you hear that? That's the generator in the background with the window open. And as you can see here, I have the day and the night shade here. And if I want to close this, I just pop it down like so. And this is a little setting again where you can have that fresh air coming in. So you can just lock all those that way. So you could have this whole entire coach set to get you ventilation while you're moving. And I'm going to go ahead and close that. You know, we've got a rainstorm coming in today. It's been 103 degrees last 2 or 3 days, and now it's going to be cold all day, which is awesome. I love that temperature switch. It's nice to have the warm, and it's nice to have the cold. It's nice not to have any snow. There's actually a little black cover. You'll find that during your delivery that covers this so you don't make any kind of marks. But this is actually designed to fit right there. I'm going to turn this guy around. Now, please do note that in the previous setup, we had it set up so that you could use your 3-point seat belt. This coach has a total of 4 seat belts. There's one here. There's one there. You can see it right there on that seat level. This thing pops off. Stick it in the front. And then remember how I said I was going to get the table leg? I'm going to get the table leg out now. This is where it comes in handy. So the way that this table is set up is you can tell this is not put away correctly. So if you were to go around a corner, this may like fly out and like not stay where it's supposed to be. The way that you know it's set up correctly is you actually go to the point where you see this snap on top and it slides in there and then it snaps in place so that you don't have any kind of accident with it flying out while you're driving down the road. So there's that. The way that I tell that this is the right way up is there's a little dude who says don't sit on the table. When he's facing upwards, you just know you put your table leg in that way. And then take this bad boy. Slide it in. Now, as you can see, this thing spins around, right? So one of the coolest things about this is if I had both of these chairs turned around, I could make this a little bit further over this way. I can make it a little bit further over this way. I can change the positioning of this table to give me the most amount of maximum room for doing the most important thing while you're camping, which is not eating. It's drinking and playing games. It is. I mean, let's be real. This is so cool. Like, you could have 5 people around this table having dinner. You could have 5 people around this table playing cards. I've never played euchre. I always play rummy, but I know that I should learn how to play euchre. Everyone plays euchre. But anyway, so this is such a cool feature. And then if I drop this down and put it down here, I can use all these cushions that I've been rearranging and turn this with this cushion and that cushion into a bed. So this could be a full-size bed as well. So I really think that this is pretty fantastic. Again, this comes in a pop top. So I had a guy that was here this weekend, and he actually bought the coach. He bought this exact. No, he bought a generator coach, so single battery with a generator, and he bought one that's not. It has no graphics on it, and we're adding the Batwing because he's gonna wrap it. And I think honestly, if I'm right, and Adam, tell me, I hope I'm right. If you're watching this, I think he's gonna wrap it with like a forest scene. So it'll like blend into the forest when he's camping, which I think is so freaking cool. And we're gonna wrap it for him. We have a wrap company called Mammoth Graphics. Transwest owns 43 different divisions or pillars, if you will, 3 of which are RV stores. Lots of semi-truck shops, Jeep shops, Ford stores, you know, those types of things. But we also have a wrap company. So if you want to get a non-graphic EKKO and not have a full paint finish, but have a different finish and not have that kind of white look on the sides of it, we can wrap the coach for you, which we're going to do for him. Okay, so here we go. So again, we were talking this weekend about Adam and how he was here looking at this coach. One of the things that we talked about, though, is he went upstairs into the pop top, and he fit in the pop top. He's 6'2", and his feet weren't touching. So if you want to get a pop top so you've got more sleeping room, maybe you've got that annoying brother that always wants to go camping with you, and you don't want him in your bedroom, you could buy a pop top, put him in the pop top, or I guess you could put him in a tent. Okay, so you saw the storage here, more outlets, more connectivity, pockets up here full of plenty of room to keep raincoats and the like. You've got a sound bar that you can sync to your phone. And again, tons and tons of storage. This is the curtain that snaps into these little places up here around. So not only can you put that sunscreen in, you can also put this nice curtain, giving you, again, more of an insulative property. Here's that little piece of plastic that covers that little guy down there so you don't scratch up your your seats. But yeah, so very, very cool feature. And then you'll notice here with these puck lights, I just touched them to turn them on. And then there's these tracks, and there's a track here, and then there's also a track here on the other side underneath this window. And the reason these are here is these are designed for you to be able to put just little connections. You could hang hooks there, so you could have utensils hanging there. You could hang something that like to hold your monitor, or maybe a large iPad if you were working from here and you wanted to be able to look at it. So these are just designed for you to buy different types of hooks or holding apparatus to hold different things. So very, very smart on Winnebago's part to give you this, you know, kind of flexibility. Now I'm going to go up here into the front, and I just want to show some stuff in this cab overhead. So big storage here, lots of room for all of those sunglasses. You could keep actually the whole case in there and store stuff here. This is the place you keep your, you know, registration. If you have some Ray-Bans, they'll fit in here, but you're not putting the Pradas up there. One thing that's missing here, of course, there's no mirror to do your makeup, because it actually has a rear view mirror here. And it's funny, and when I say a rear view mirror, you're like, dude, what are you talking about? It's not a rear view mirror. Yeah, it is. Look at that. There's a camera, literally, that's telling you what's going on behind it. So if Johnny Law is chasing you, bam, there you go. So this is a new update for 2026. So you'll see there's an updated head unit for the front of the coach as well. And then here underneath these compartments, you have all of this great storage. So what's so nice about this, as you can see, is you've got places, connectivity for your radar detector, for your phones, places to keep stuff. You can keep a LaCroix while you're rolling down the road. So very, very cool setup. Lots and lots of storage space, because keep in mind, this coach is built on a chassis that's used by tons of like electricians, painters, people doing all sorts of stuff out in the world. So it has to hold a lot of stuff. And if you've ever had an RV, for instance, I have a Superstar that has like zero storage up front. Like, it's totally inconvenient for having like more than one drink. So the fact that you can have a large bottle for your, you know, maybe you've got your Nalgene water bottle, you got your Red Bull up here, you got your LaCroix. I mean, you could have all the beverages. I do not recommend putting a Coors Light in the dash unless you're parked and the keys are not in the ignition. But all of that being said, pretty cool stuff. This is a game changer. Of course, when you put your coach into reverse, you do have a really nice, I'm not doing software updates right now. Ah, yes, okay. So here you have a really nice interface. This is touchscreen. If you're trying to use your navigation, you have your MB apps. You could also use your Bluetooth if you want to, put in like Google Maps or whatever. You also have a hard line in for Apple Maps or for your Android Auto. You've got voice control for the navigation system. It has multiple profiles that you can set up, which means that you could have, if you have, let's say, a profile for the southwest corner of the U.S., you could have one for the northeast. Usually they're made for individual drivers, but in an RV, I would make them for pockets of the world, because maybe, when you're in the Midwest, there's a few restaurants you go to or radio stations you listen to, versus when you're in the Southeast or the Southwest. So you could actually use those profiles to set different types of stations and navigational savings in your maps, so that you've got them kind of grouped together according to where you are in the world. Because this coach is made to get out in the world. There's a ton of people who take these to Alaska. There's a ton of people who take these up into Canada. So if you're one of those folks, like with the Starlink, the solar array, and like I said, that removable propane interface, this can just get you all over the country. Another thing worth mentioning is if you see on the Mercedes-Benz chassis, not only do you have this really nice MB text, which is a synthetic name, or the name for the synthetic leather that Mercedes has used since 2003. You also have memory programmable seats, as well as heated seats, power windows. You've got these really cool vents that you twist them to turn them on and off, and then they can swivel any direction to give you air where you need it. And then you don't have dual zone climate control, but you do have at least climate control. And then one of the nice things about this aspect is when I am using this here, this is actually what is using, I'm not trying to activate you. Stop, you little poop. This is what is controlling this head unit. And then this one here is controlling this head unit. So this one, you can see your mileage per hour. You can cycle through all your different menus. You can see, you know, if you want to reset your odometer, you can set that there. We'll go ahead and turn that on. So 864 miles is how long it took to drive this from Forest City, Iowa to Frederick, Colorado, where I am now. But again, everything's here. And then I'll just show you quickly. So foot on the brake to start the coach. Nice and quiet. You can barely hear it's on. It's showing me the speed limit. It's got my lane tracking. I've also got distance-based cruise control. It's called Distronic, if you want to know what the Mercedes-Benz name of it is. I need gas. If I put my coach into reverse, it actually checks the surroundings and shows me what's behind me, and I have two different settings for that. So I've got one that's a little more narrow, and then I've got one that's a little more of downward facing, right? So that's cool. And then if I put it in park, I just push this little button here. I have paddle shifters for downshifting and upshifting. Very important feature of this coach. When you are driving down a steep hill in a big, you know, Freightliner chassis like the one I have, you use an engine brake. In this coach, you don't have an engine brake, but you have paddle shifter, so you can really save some of that braking. Use your transmission to brake in this coach. It's designed to be able to do that. It's got the paddle shifters, and of course, it just keeps your brakes from getting so hot. Because if you get your brakes really hot going down a lot of steep hills, and riding your brakes on a coach, you can warp your rotors, and you get kind of a whoop, 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 whoop feeling when you're stopping. It means you probably need to pull your rotors, pull your brake pads. You can do that. You can reduce some of that exposure by using your paddle shifters. Okay, that's a lot. Let's go outside and do stuff, Jody. Which way? You want to go that way? I'll meet you. I'm going to go out this door. I don't know if you guys heard, but when I turn the coach on and I put it into gear, it actually put the step back in, so that happens automatically. But I do have this set. I have the step set to lock out right now, and the reason I do that is, of course, if I'm going camping, it's kind of annoying if it's going in and out. But there's just a little control right here where you can set it to lock out. So I have the step lock right here set. Your Carefree awning package, you just turn it on. I don't know if it's gonna let me do it because I gotta get my brake pulled. So your awning package, if you have your brake set, you can put your awning in and out here. You also are gonna have an app you can use on your phone to do that. But this screen door is one of the coolest things of this coach. So that screen door with that metal backing, if you have like a dog that likes to, you know, jump out and chase bears or whatever, you can prevent that from happening. And then on top of it, this has got a deadbolt and a screen lock here. So this is actually very, very human proof at this moment. So I can leave my screen door closed, have all of that fresh air, and also like feel safe to sleep at night without someone coming in to visit me that's not welcome. So I have the lights on out here, so you can just see kind of this extended patio. Again, the Carefree awning has an app you can use on your phone, so you don't have to be inside to do it. It also has what's called like a bounce sensor. So down here at the end of the awning, if there's a little box, if you hear a strange like muffled beep coming from the end of the awning, it means your battery is low on your bounce sensor and you need to change the battery. It's pretty easy to do. You just have to know where it is, and it's right there at the end of the awning. As you can see, this is great. This is a ton of extra shade for this coach. It goes in and out easily. It's elbowless, so you don't have to worry about like hitting your head on those little arm things that stick out, which is nice. We have lots of lights out here. So they do a really good job at giving you illumination on the exterior of the coach. Not only can your whole entire outdoor family room have illumination with the lights that are in the awning, but also things like these port lights. There's lights out by the water station. So whenever you're setting up at night and you arrive to your campground late, you can really kind of get in there, get all set up regardless of how dark it is, which is handy. Okay, so that's all the way in. Again, if that doesn't go out, most of the time it's because your brake's not deployed. Not a big deal, but just good to know. All right, so we talked a little bit about these windows. These are acrylic dual pane windows. This is the most winter-proof coach that Winnebago makes. These doors, when you see them here, Jody, did we really forget to open one? We literally, you guys went through, opened all of these because they're so hard when they get stuck. We forgot one. These doors are foam. This is like how thick the body of this coach is. This is E-coat, so this is a material that's made at Winnebago where they'll actually take, they'll take their E-coating, like this steel that they're using and this around the flooring here, and they'll dip it in a vat of paint, and they'll actually electromagnetically paint this, so there's no air bubbles, there's no spray over. And then here you can see you've got your chassis on-off switch, and then this is where your seat belts are anchored into the actual subframe of the coach. And then this stuff here that looks like kind of like coin seal, but maybe chiclet seal, like it's got, instead of coins, it's got little chiclets. That is an air. Whoa, Jake brake, to hear that? We are off of I-25, by the way, very convenient to get to. So it has this cool flooring, it has like a honeycomb structure underneath it, and that air pocket like you have in your cup that insulates your cup and keeps your coffee from getting cold, keeps your coach from getting cold. It also keeps your coach from getting hot. Very handy. Over here, you'll see we've got pneumatic lumbar support, so you can make it higher and lower and more and less, so you can actually get that tailored to your body regardless of how vertically challenged you are. And on the note of vertically challenged, I am vertically challenged. This is a very easy threshold to get into. Again, Winnebago makes 75% of their coach at the Winnebago factory in Forest City, Iowa. More E-coating down here. Really cool steps to get into with little anchor points for your dog. I always say no one's gonna steal my Frenchies, but they're gonna take Jody. Jody's literally, he's picking up all my papers for me. He takes such good care of me, and I am such a train wreck, but I'm really friendly, so it's okay. But yeah, no one's gonna steal my dogs. But I'll tell you what, man, if you had a cooler full of really good beer, and it was a great cooler with like great stickers all over it, I would totally like lock that up to the coach, because I'll tell you, I'm not taking your dog, but man, if I come by and your cooler's hanging out there and I'm a bad guy, that's like free beer for at least the afternoon. Throw it in the trunk, off to the, you know, off to the races. So anyway, you can use that for whatever you think is good. Another great storage compartment here. These places are things you can keep your, you know, if you've got your paddle boards in here. I guess it would have to be a pretty small paddle board in this one. But oh, here, another, this is I wanted to show you a freshwater drain. If you're winterizing your coach, it's all the way around the corner. Little hidden guy. But yeah, if you are, if you're trying to, you know, keep stuff in the coach, like I have an outdoor fire pit, a barbecue, all those things are things that you can keep in these EKKOs because you've got all the room. There's a little margarita port right there, right? Got your cable outlets. This is again that point that I made earlier with your Truma AquaGo system. This again is going to be your hydronic heat as well as your tankless hot water heater. 50 gallons of fresh, 51 gallons of gray, a 5-gallon cassette toilet. But when you're using that, you need to have your propane, and so this is so nice. You can actually run this so that you run at a time, or you can set it up so that it automatically toggles over to the next one when it's empty. So that's a very cool feature, but it also gives you the ability to have the quick connect outside. So there's no outdoor kitchen option on the 23B. I'm not an outdoor kitchen option person anyway, honestly, because it's so close to the door. But dude, being able to run your fire pit or your barbecue right here, 100%. The other thing that's cool about this though, is you can have your paddle boards. You can have your lawn chairs, you could have your snowboards, you could have your skis, you could have everything with you. This Molly panel, so it's a modular panel that is magnetic. It's designed to have carabiners hanging with all of your, maybe your snowboarding gloves, maybe your helmet, your goggles, maybe your bike stuff, you know, whatever it is. Maybe this is the one that you use to keep all of your barbecuing, you know, utensils and such, because it's out here next to your barbecue side, and you use the one on the opposite side for your gear garage. I mean, you really get to be able to pick. And what's so nice about this is it's accessible in 3 different ways. So if your lawn chairs are on this side of the coach, you don't have to go like digging and pulling everything out That's my biggest angst with van life. You know, after having a Sprinter van for about 7 years, I had no idea like what a little extra room could get you. But not playing Tetris when I camp is super nice, and this EKKO really alleviates that necessity to play Tetris. Now you'll notice here the side assist, as I mentioned, so the front monitor is a little bit different. The side assist is a little more slender. This is your blind spot assist. So these have changed just a little bit in 2026. And then, as I said earlier, great access points. And then you saw that camera. Oh, you want to go in there, Jody? Here we go. So there's D-rings right here. So you have these little guys you can attach. They're on the top. They're down here. They're also down here. This is all just to help you anchor things in. There's heat vents in here, so you can close and open these. So if you have things like high-end tires, things that you want to keep from getting frozen, you can do that. You've got puck lights with push to turn on and off at either side, and 110 outlets back here. More margarita making capabilities than anyone could ever want for. It's nice that this coach has a ladder, because if I was to put the Batwing awning out, I wouldn't be able to reach it to put it away. So this is the Batwing awning. I have a 10 o'clock appointment coming in from Connecticut, so I'm gonna be in big trouble because I'm gonna have to put this all away in such like a short throw of time. But I wanted to show you everything. So like I mentioned earlier, this weekend I sold an EKKO to somebody who really wanted a full paint finish, but without having Solenoid. He wanted to do like a wrap on it. So we ordered it without the Batwing awning and without graphics and not painted. But he can get it wrapped then without having to worry about actually. Am I doing it, Jody? Am I doing it? Okay, like I said, you guys, I am vertically challenged. So, here we go. I got this, guys. Avin's like 6'4". He always helps me with these things. Is that really stuck in my hair? Oh, it is. Let's be part of the video, you guys. All right. But here we go. I can do this because I have that ladder. Am I missing one? Oh, you guys, this is gonna be awful. We're just gonna go with this for the day. We're just gonna go. Thank you, Jody. All right, here we go. So like I said, I would totally need to have a ladder to be able to do this, but I do. There we go. And so again, such a cool feature to have that awning over there and then to have this awning right over here with a nice anchor point. So I could drop this down. It has the little holes to put your tent stakes in. I could put my generator underneath. I can have access without getting wet to my bay storage here or to my wet bay. So in the rain, super convenient. And then as you can see here, I've got gravity fill. I can turn my water pump on and off from out here. I have a quick connect for the shower. I also have, again, a gray tank connection, which is super huge. And then here, I have a little port. So if I want to run my freshwater hose into the bay and have my door shut, I can do that. So super cool setup. This also has attachments that you can put. It's a South African company, but you can create a room underneath here with like a bug screen. So if you wanted not to have mosquitoes. Now this is gonna be what makes this coach not only, you know, weatherproof from a, you know, a freezing standpoint, but usable in the winter. You can have this entire coach winterized, and then you could actually have, oh, this is so full. This is full of winterizer. I'm gonna keep it in there. You can have this whole thing in here, And you could use this, like if you're like doing first chair at Keystone, for instance, your coach is winterized, you could still use your, propane. You could heat hot water on your little stove, wash your face, brush your teeth. You take a shower at the lodge, but you would have a toilet, right? So you could have this in really cold temperatures and not de-winterize your coach every time you take it out, which of course is a huge time savings. Now this compartment here is where the generator would normally be, so this is what we'll just call some bonus space. And then this is going to be the pump that actually brings your water out of the floor of your shower up to the rest of the gray tank drop. And then here's that larger battery. So again, this is going to be a Lithionics battery. Winnebago partners and owns Lithionics. This is going to be a 640 as opposed to a 320. And if you wanted to have a 320 added and to have a generator, again, I do have a Solonite EKKO Mercedes-Benz 23B 2026 in inventory that has the generator and the single battery. You cannot order it with the double battery and the generator because of weight ratings, but you could have it added. And actually Winnebago tells you that. So it's not like you'd be doing something naughty or covert, but it is a little more expensive that way. Okay, so fuel fill is right here, right? But it's next to one of the most important stickers, 1,302 pounds of capacity. So go ahead and zero in on that sticker, Jody. This is the stuff that no one wants to talk about. It's the lower one. So that weight rating right there, that is the sticker that you have to ask your sales associate to take a picture of and send you when you're looking at like a Wayfair, for instance, because usually that's a sub 1,000 pound weight rating. So this coach has 1,300 pounds of capacity to put all of your gear in there and still has a 5,000 pound towing capacity. So that's pretty fantastic. Things like the breakaway mirrors are nice. We actually have to do this whenever we park them really close to each other. So that's a good feature there. Oh, I should open the hood. This coach does require DEF. If you're gonna put DEF in a coach, don't buy boxes and leave them in your garage forever. They go bad. Just get it at the diesel fueling station. This thing fits just about everywhere. There's the cool new camera. If I could find it, there it is. So you guys, I sold Sprinters for a long time before I did this. And I think it's really funny that I ended up working for Winnebago and selling Sprinters again. Because when I left to go to Audi, I never thought I'd come back to Mercedes, especially in this capacity. But all of that being said, I got a lot of tips and tricks for you if you're buying a Mercedes. This little guy here is a step, so you can clean the bugs off of your windshield. DEF goes right here, pretty easy to access. If you're making a service appointment for your Sprinter, please realize when people run businesses, they schedule service appointments like dental appointments. If you're not making your appointment for service well in advance, you're not gonna get in. Like, this is not gonna have an oil change before the 4th of July. Granted, we've got a few weeks left in June. You wanna make sure you're scheduling your service appointments 2 or 3 weeks out from when you wanna be able to go on vacation in case you need to order parts or have anything brought in. And that way you can get the appointment time that's convenient for you. Over here, you'll see this is the connect for your battery. So you twist and push this in. There's your positive connect. And then your negative ground is right there. It's probably enough. This glows at night. It's so cool. So if you've got someone who's driving in the fog, they can always see you coming. So if they run into you, it's on purpose, not on accident. These are really killer high performance LED lights. You got fog lamps down below. Again, new camera system, new lane tracking package. Overall, this is just a killer coach. Let me see if I can find my clipboard. Jody, go ahead and show that stock number. I believe that it's 5N250526. Again, 5N520 or 250526. Things I didn't cover: exterior height 10 feet 11 inches, exterior length 24 feet 6 inches. The transit's 23 if you want to know. Exterior width 7 feet 2.5 inches. And then the awning length is 13 feet. And then the interior height 6'8". So if this will help you get out on the road and get camping, let me know. My name's Katie O'Neill. I'm coming to you live on a Monday morning. You can always get a hold of me at 303-562-8659. Like my page, call me. That's why I make these videos. If you like them and I can help you, I'd love to be of assistance.